Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Twisted Metal 4, The Joneses, Part 2. So this time around, we're going back to the freeway again. Remember back in the original Twisted Metal when we were stuck on an LA freeway trying to drive around and avoid getting smashed up by Darkseid and all those other freaks we had to go against in the first game? Well, it's all back. And this time around, yeah, we probably are in LA, something like that. They actually made LA a later level of the game and not the first level of the game, which is kind of odd considering how it was before, but I don't really care much about it. I don't think anyone really cares much about that. We all know it's Twisted Metal. We all know it's set all over the world in a bunch of freaky locations where all sorts of stuff happens. I don't think anyone here really cares about that. And so we just finally come across General Warthog. Yeah, Warthog's completely different in this game. He's General Warthog. He drives a tank called Trojan that places those bombs on the ground that generates an ion blast that uses satellite technology. It's funny how he's an old man that really doesn't like modern technology, and yet he has the most high-tech science fiction weapon in the game. Again, that's more sci-fi stuff they threw into this game. More like technologically advanced stuff. Almost rivals that of something that'd be in a Wipeout game. I always used to wonder that would be like if they mixed Wipeout with Twisted Metal. There kind of is something like that in Wipeout 3. There's this mode in Wipeout 3 called Eliminator mode, where it pretty much becomes like Demolition, or what's it called? Destruction Derby. Destruction Derby, or Twisted Metal becomes like a car combat game almost, which kind of makes sense considering the fact it would play like Destruction Derby because it was made by Psygnosis, which also made Destruction Derby, which could arguably be a car combat game. I don't think anyone really considers it to be a car combat game, since it's really just a Demolition Derby game, which is something people actually play in real life, or could potentially play in real life, and there aren't any weapons or any of that, because it focuses more on, like realistic battle, like realistic car combat in a way. So it's a lot more realistic than Twisted Metal in that sense. And so as you see, the freeway has, all sorts of people, get stuck in traffic. Well, we don't run any cars, or like civilian cars hanging down the freeway. They managed to clear out the freeway just so we could play the game in peace. So yeah, it's good they did. That's good that the LA Traffic Authority, or whatever it is, actually acknowledges Twisted Metal as being an actual competition that could give us, give us entertainment. I wonder if they show us on TV in the universe or something like that. I don't know. So there's Meter Maid. There's a new contestant in this game. Meter Maid's my IRL friend's favorite contestant in this game. Mostly because he thinks she's hot, even though she looks like a man dressed in drag. And she has a special weapon that was clearly stolen from Outlaw. It's actually a little more advanced than Outlaw's weapon. Outlaw's special weapon was just simply a taser. It does machine gun, does damage comparable to that of a machine gun to a car. But Meter Maid's special weapon actually drains their health and actually gives it to hers, so it actually works well for her on her part. That's actually a good way for her to regain some health by using her special on a bunch of the enemies. Then she could take their health from them. It's actually pretty it's a pretty good special weapon on her part, which makes up for the fact that she's weak, because usually in these Twisted Metal games, usually the weaker cars tend to have the better special weapons. Mr. Grimm is a classic example. Mr. Grimm's just a Grim Reaper on a motorcycle. He's weak as hell, but his special weapon really makes up for that. And then there's more of the evenly balanced ones, like what we're being right now, the Joneses. A pretty decent special weapon, with a pretty decent car, like a half good special weapon and half good car, which makes sense, it's like evenly balanced kind of thing. This is also by far probably the biggest level in the game. This level is huge. It's like driving down a really large freeway. There's all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of hidden goodies and things like that. There's a lot of places to hide. Well, not really hide. It's not like you can run but you can't hide kind of thing. Because this level's just full. There's so much stuff to find and so much hidden areas too. This game's full. That's why I think this game is like the most advanced game of the Twisted Metal franchise ever. Because of how much hidden stuff there is in this game. Hidden gems, hidden goodies. It's full of it. So it's all filled with hidden stuff. And Captain Grimm is actually easy to kill off in this game because he's Captain Grimm. He doesn't drive a motorcycle, he drives a pirate ship car. They made him a pirate in this game for some reason. That likes to, drive around kind of like a pirate ship car, which is kind of, it does seem kind of whimsical in a way, kind of funny and whimsical. I still like to keep the humor in this game and comedy in this game, like they started putting in the Twisted Metal 3 in that way. So Meter Maid's nearly dead. Now look at that, just one auto lob and Meter Maid's pretty much dead. Auto lobs are probably the best weapons in this game. They're another weapon that only exists in this Twisted Metal game, but they're really good, actually. They do a really good amount of damage on your opponents. So now we're actually coming across a boss, and it's Super Thumper. You see, this is what I meant when I did my Twisted Metal pre-LP, and I mentioned that 989 seemed to have a fetish for taking regular contestants from the first 2 Twisted Metals and making them bosses in their games. Well, that's exactly what they did in this game. They're taking bosses from Twisted Metals 1, 2, and 3, and they make regular contestants from those games, and they made them bosses in this game. Like Thumper, for example. Thumper was a regular contestant in the first 3 Twisted Metal games, and now he's a boss that we have to fight against. The good thing is he's still kind of weak, and he's also an idiot too. I don't know who's driving him in this game. His boss characters don't have storylines in this game, but it's most likely Bruce Cochran, the guy who drove Thumper in the first 3 games. It would make sense to just use Bruce Cochran again. Who else will be driving Thumper this time around? So here's the lightning weapon. You can see here, use lightning as an environmental attack in this level, and on the loading screens for each level, it has like a message, like a hidden message or something that says, like, winning on these streets means taking the beaten path, or so it says for this level. They're referring to that little thing I just drove for a little hidden path I drove for where there's a lightning and things like that. They all hint him. It's kind of replaced how in Twisted Metal 3 Calypso would introduce every level and give you a hint at things you can do in the level and stuff like that, but instead, they kept it textual, which I think that actually works better. That's kind of weird, actually, or dumb, I think, actually, how Calypso narrated the beginning of every level in Twisted Metal 3. It was kind of unnecessary, I think. Well, Super Thumper is nearly dead. Now we pretty much nearly killed Super Thumper. We're a lot better than Super Thumper, mostly because you have a better brain than Super Thumper, and we're not as dumb like Super Thumper. Bruce Cochran really is dumb in this game, if it even is Bruce Cochran. I said, I don't know, the bosses don't have any story lines. There's so many bosses in this game, and none of them have storylines, except for Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth is the final boss of this game, and he doesn't actually, and we already know his storyline from watching the intro. We know that he's the most famous character in Twisted Metal, and yet he stole the contest from Calypso. Calypso is no longer the master of ceremonies anymore in this game. It's Sweet Tooth. He's the one that's going to be granting us a wish if we win, which we know we will, because we always win, right? We know Ray Phoenix never loses at Twisted Metal, or at least from what you see in the videos. So now we're in some place. We were shrunken down to size, right the size of Matchbox cars now, and we're battling in someone's bedroom, as you can see here. It's probably some serial killer or some kid's bedroom or something like that. And look at that, Calypso's going after us. Calypso's a contestant in this game. This is the first and only Twisted Metal game where Calypso's a contestant. He wants his contest back from Sweet Tooth, which is pretty obvious considering the fact, you know how much Twisted Metal meant everything to Calypso. And so we just took out a quarter of his health already. We're kind of using our shield so much, because I really do use the shield a lot in this game, which really, it's really easy to activate the shield in this game, and it does a lot. The shield's probably a lot better in this game than it was in Twisted Metal 2. There wasn't even a shield at all in Twisted Metal 3, so at least they brought back the shield. At least 989 did some stuff good. People complain about 989. They really talk more about Twisted Metal 3 when they complain about the Twisted Metal series. And Twisted Metal 4 is way better than Twisted Metal 3, so at least I think that's the case with this. And this level often serves as the inspiration for Twisted Metal Small Brawl, because Twisted Metal Small Brawl is pretty much Twisted Metal, but with RC cars, and they kind of compete in Battlegrounds so much. So I think this actually served as a lot of inspiration for Twisted Metal Small Brawl right here in the bedroom. We're battling in someone's bedroom. We're pretty much Matchbox cars, which Drag Queen looks like she could be driving a Matchbox car. I think I had a Matchbox car and looked like a Drag Queen. And the cars in this game actually don't look like toys like they did in Twisted Metal 3, so that sounds pretty good in that sense. At least I don't really associate them with being toys. Well, maybe. I'm sure there probably is a toy somewhere. It looks just like the station wagon I'm driving right now. And pretty much every car in this game probably has a toy of it somewhere, but they don't really look exactly like toys. This game does look a lot better. It looks a lot more realistic. For what realistic is in the first PlayStation, what it could do in terms of realism, these look pretty realistic. All the physics, again, work similar to in Twisted Metal 3. You can't really run into enemies in this game. It doesn't really do much damage if you run into enemies. So you're pretty much left having to use weapons. But the good thing is, the enemies in this game don't have unlimited ammo. They don't have unlimited specials, unlimited ammo like they did in Twisted Metal 2. So they're not dirty scumbag cheaters in this game, which is actually good to our part. Which actually makes it more fair, I think, overall. That they don't, they're not like dirty cheaters. So I already killed off a few of them. They're still, this level actually is kind of large. There's a lot to explore in this level, a lot to see and explore in this level. There's all sorts of, there's all sorts of, I keep saying that for every level in this game. This level I don't think really has much sci-fi stuff, other than the fact that we're just shrunken down to a really small size of a Matchbox car, pretty much. I don't even know how they did that. It doesn't actually show how that happened. And you can see there's also the ramps over there too, like the Hot Wheels car ramps. So you could pretty much be like Hot Wheels cars and go do like some tricks on them, maybe drive around and flip around or jump around. So you can still jump in this game, and pretty much all the other special moves from the other games are back in this game. There's a few more, as I mentioned earlier, like hyperspace, which is good for getting away from some people. And the turbo works pretty well in this game too, and there's full health refills and things like that in most levels of the game. Right now, I think we're under his bed right now somewhere. There's like a brick wall there. We're in someone's bed. We're under someone's bed, I think, right now, or his bed would be. It's fine. It's a big room called a bedroom. I don't even think we could drive on the bed at all or battle on the bed at all. Is this really a bedroom then? Yeah, there's posters on the wall too that pertain to Twisted Metal 3. We're making fun of the fact that Twisted Metal 3 was the only ever game they owned the rights to that they were allowed to use in this game. Or either that, or maybe it was just, they were just picking on the fact that, you lost the rights to Twisted Metal 2. We can't use Twisted Metal 2 at all, or Twisted Metal 1 or any of that stuff at all. So let's use stuff from Twisted Metal 3, because that's the best Twisted Metal game before this game, am I right? That's kind of what they were saying. And seriously, if you look at the walls around here, you can see there's a poster of Mr. Grimm from Twisted Metal 3 from his info screen in Twisted Metal 3. There's also a poster of Sweet Tooth on the wall too, also from his Twisted Metal 3 info screen. Apparently some of the Twisted Metal 3 info screens can be found on this CD for Twisted Metal 4. If you put it into your computer and look at the data files for the game, you find a few of the info screens from Twisted Metal 3. You can also find Bruce Cochran's info screen from Twisted Metal 3, so same with Axel and Augur. It's implied that those characters that are in this game, they're from Twisted Metal 3 that are in this game, they were considered to have storylines, but somehow they didn't get used in the final game, but yet somehow their info screens can still be found on this disc. So there's that futuristic thing that just froze us over here right now, so we're just driving around on this table thing right here. And there's a lamp right there too you could break, and you could use like an environmental attack with that. Now we're going to be chased by RC Car. He's going to put up a really big fight. RC Car is one of the best special weapons of the boss characters in this game. It's like a giant, large, thick laser. It's similar to Crimson Fury's special weapon from the first Twisted Metal, only it's actually good and really destroys most of your car's health. Look, I'm on mostly full health. He's going to use it on me, and look at that. He just took out more than half my health right there. Look at that. He almost killed me right there, and I was at full health, and he almost killed me right there with his special weapon, and I barely did anything. I didn't even scratch him at all, and he almost destroyed me. So I was going to drive around here for the next little bit and wait for health refills to respawn, and that can take a while considering how long it takes for them to respawn in this game. It takes time for a lot of things to respawn in this game. Just going to drive around. Pretend it's a racing game for a bit and driving around and trying to keep ahead of RC Car, make sure he doesn't get to me. So yeah, I'm going to have to be doing that for the next bit as well too, is driving around in circles. I hope you like this level and like driving around in circles this level, because you're going to be seeing a lot of it in the next few minutes. So driving away from RC Car, but right now we're being the father is probably panicking right now, thinking hold on tight kids, we'll get out of this alive, and the mom's freaking out. Everyone's kind of freaking out, but the father's trying to pull through and drive. These kids are probably, to the kids in their perspective, this is probably the most effed up family vacation they've ever been on. First, being in a tournament alone where you nearly get killed is bad enough for them, but now considering the fact we just got shrunk to the size of a Matchbox car, and we're running for our lives, driving away, running for our lives, trying to get away from an RC car that wants us dead, and we're like a Matchbox car is better. This is a pretty messed up vacation. And the Griswolds always complained about their family vacations being the worst. Clearly, they didn't know what the Joneses went through. They had no idea. No one would ever understand what kinds of stuff they went through. No one could. No one even believed them because of how ridiculous it sounds. I wonder if anyone ever believed the Griswolds about their vacations. Like when they drive all the way to Wally World and find out it's closed for 2 weeks or something like that. And as we were doing that, we also got some special weapons back. Regenerated some special weapons, which is good. Our Hornets, or Patriot missiles, is called Warthog used to them. And so we also got some other weapons too we could use against RC Cars. We can really do some damage against RC Car. There, we're getting revenge on him. He almost had us dead, but now we're gonna have him dead. I just keep blasting him, like keep shooting the power missiles at him. I'm actually playing this game at a slightly higher difficulty setting than what the default is. It's good Twist Metal 4 regulates difficulty in a really weird way. There's no difficulty selection for tournament mode. You have to play for the whole game once, and it's like an 80s arcade game where it just starts over from the beginning again, but it's a more harder version of the same game. Well, that's what this is pretty much is like. This is the second time going through the game, because most of the videos of this game is usually the first playthrough, or sometimes it's even like an immortal run, like the absolute hardest difficulty in the game, but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing what's like a slightly harder difficulty, saying what most other Let's Players of this game do. That Fiendly guy, whatever his name is, that does an LP this game, he didn't do this game in this harder difficulty, so that's why I'm doing it in here. Not that I'm competing with him or anything like that, but, you know, it's like trying to show that I do things that other people don't do. I try to focus on that in my videos a lot of the time, too. I did that a lot in my Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles LP, where I played as Mace Windu, because very few people play that game actually play for the game as Mace Windu. So the Garcia car is set on fire. His health is really low, but my health is really low, too. Just gonna collect whatever weapons I could find, and maybe I could spam him or something like that. Or I think my energy is charged up enough for a freeze shot. Yep, it is. And he's dead. So, this is Ray Phoenix, signing out.